Captain, you ready?
We can make it if we try.
Captain.
What the? I guess I'm the captain now. Proceed.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land? How are you tonight?
Fucking funky and fantastic.
Hello,
Honestly,
my
it's
darling.
kind of been a shit show today. What's going on?
I feel that. Had a little hiccup on the clicky when I started. I have to admit, up until 5 minutes ago, I was asleep on the couch until I heard the alarm go off for the podcast. So I got a little brain fog happening. Bear with me. That's kind of
We'll
what
be
I'm
all right.
saying.
I think we'll make it. Nothing more than a couple bong hits can't fix.
That's right. Nothing gets the engine revving like a couple bong rips to the face. You are right, sir.
There you go.
Maybe not rum Scotty though. We'll put you back
Oh
down.
my dude, I'm telling you, this stuff is so good. I can't not smoke it, but like I have a tendency to overindulge.
It's
I don't
easy
know
to
if you
do when
guys
you
have
got
that
good
problem
flour.
too.
Yeah. Especially when you like the taste of something. You just keep going back to it, you know?
That's what it is, man. The taste, and I'm just like, just a little more, just a little more, and then like you cross that line, that threshold, and you're like beyond the point of comprehension or consciousness.
Consciousness.
It puts me out, man. But yeah, I took some cuts. I got some fresh cuts. Hopefully, rooting soon, and start the process all over again. Have
Wow.
more for my jars.
Nice,
You're never gonna
dude.
smoke anything but it. You're gonna have so much rum Scotty, you're not gonna know what to do with yourself.
Well, I would love to have a bunch of jars of this one for sure, but like I think at some point it'll lose its like novelty, lose its luster a little bit.
Yeah.
But we
It's like
haven't gotten
loving
there
a
yet.
song and playing it over and over and over and over and over again until you hate it.
100% G3, but we are not at the point where I'm like sick of this song yet. I'm still singing along to the third chorus as loud as ever. It's delicious.
That made me
The
choke my
holidays are
drink a
coming
little bit.
too. It's a lovely thing to gift.
The holidays.
Oh yeah. Little jar of Rom Scotty.
Little jars
For
with
the
like gingham
holidays.
ribbons. Very Christmassy.
Are you back smoking G3? Are you back on
I'm
the wagon?
kind of, yes, I'm back to
Back
vaping,
on
but
the
not
wagon.
actually smoking flower. I don't have a dry herb vape. So I just have my Puffco, but I've been using that. Hooray. Tiny steps. So almost there. I'd say I'm at about 90%.
Okay.
Nice.
Slowly.
Slow, baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Yep. Thank goodness for the Puffco. It is very gentle. So I'm appreciating that. My lungs are appreciating that. My throat's appreciating that right now. So
Good.
mhm.
I do find, it's kind of strange. Like certain strains make you cough more than others.
Yep.
Don't know why that is.
Yeah, terpenes.
Right? Yeah, it must just be the terp mix.
Pinene and osamine cause you to smoke or cause you to cough more than others.
Really?
Hmm.
It's because I mean, even just jar to jar of the Rom Scotty. I mean, like I had two phenotypes, 1 and 2. 1 is my favorite, but 2 might be another person's favorite, you know, like they were just very different. 2 makes me cough my balls off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Just give you like that tickle in the back of your throat.
it's, as soon as you inhale, it's like you do one of these like
Oh, yeah.
that kind of
Gives
thing.
you like itchy lungs almost.
Those are the
Yeah.
ones when my wife asks me if I'm okay. Are you okay?
Yep.
Yeah. She doesn't understand it. She just looks
Even
at
a
me and
little
shakes her-
like a little baby bong rip, and you're just you're almost spitting it out. Like, you
That's
can't.
not pleasant. I don't like experiences like that.
But this stuff is so strong. I don't know. It's
I don't
the
need my
terp
weed to be
mix.
violent.
Yeah, I don't particularly like that one exactly for that reason. It's like it kicks my ass. It's violent. You're right.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm old now. I got old man lungs, you know? I don't need to be coughing like that.
Unnecessarily savage.
For sure. Well, yeah, Monster, what do you got tonight? Well,
I'm gonna make a lot of people
Rip this
jealous when
bong.
I talk about what I'm smoking on tonight.
yeah.
Just gonna say, smoking on some Hubba Bubba Grape.
What?
No shit.
Yeah,
Did you time travel or?
yeah. Back to the Future. Me, Marty, and Duck.
You
We
hit
just fucking
88
went there.
miles an hour. Just
We just
Because
went
isn't
there.
that what you got for the growing? Was that?
Yeah, I traveled back in time and or ahead of
Yeah.
time, and however you want to look at it. I
You
acquired.
already got an almanac.
I-
You got weed.
I acquired a sample, and I must say that I fucking absolutely love it. It's everything I thought it would be, and I'm glad that I'm gonna grow this shit because it's just Kush. I get that chocolatey Kush fucking flavor that I like. You know what I mean? That savory Kush. I don't get much grape on this one. Wasn't expected with this pheno, but I love it. It's a stunner.
hell yeah. That's
sounds
awesome.
great.
Yeah, like, so did you bring back a sports almanac? You gonna bet on some games?
Dude, that's the first thing I think of, like when we talk about time travel. Like, man, I'd love to go back and, like, especially like not to be a homer, but like the '01 Patriots. Nobody saw that for a Super Bowl coming. You know what I mean? Fucking throw down a few sacks on that. You know,
If only.
if only,
If only.
if only. But that's all right. Cheers, though.
Yeah,
As I
man.
do a bong head
So-
of a freshie.
You said it was like chocolatey too. It had that bubba. Had that bubba quality.
Yeah,
That's what
man.
you look
Just
for.
I haven't had like a real bubba in a while, and this is all bubba for me. It's just that classic Kush taste that everybody loves. Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, I mean, we are gonna have ourselves a hell of a grow along. I can tell you that right now. I mean, with all you know, people were posting the strains they got from Joint's website after the drop on Friday. By the way, if you are hearing this, you still have time to get in right now.
Oh yeah, for
If
sure.
this is your first time
Yeah,
hearing
we're
anything
we're
about
gonna.
this,
I was talking to Joey. I think we're
You
gonna
still
have
have
set
time.
up a poll at the end of the podcast on the Discord when we should start. We want to make sure we give it a fair chance here. I don't want anybody fucking butthurt that they didn't have the time or whatever. So we'll get everything
yeah,
squared
I
away.
know. I know. Joint's been super busy, and like we don't even have the rules and any of that stuff posted in the Discord yet. So it's kind of
Yeah.
just it's happening. We're in a holding pattern right now, though.
Yeah.
So you have time
we
to get
we
yourselves beans.
we will have a date to start with by the end of that poll. I'll give that poll a few days. So we're getting there. We just want to make sure we have all our ducks in a row. And grow alongs can be quite complicated when you think about it, right? Like how do we?
logistically?
Yeah,
They can
especially when
be.
you're talking about some pretty fucking serious prizes here. I must say.
Yeah, and so many different strains and all that stuff. I mean, it'll be as well organized as a shit show can be.
I have a little
So-
bit of experience in this, so
Cool.
don't worry.
Cool.
You guys are in good hands.
Well, go to Joint's website, jcuniversal.link.
Posting the link right now.
Do it. Roll that beautiful bean footage. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be so many different cool, strains. We're all going to compare, contrast, talk about our different grow styles too, which is really the reason for the grow along. When you really boil it down, the fun part of the grow along is that you get to grow with all these other growers who do it just a little differently than you. Everyone's got their special sauce, you know what I mean? They're this and that, they're tweaks, they're little like kung fu secrets that they're never gonna tell. I mean, we're kind of gonna get to just see a live comparison between all these different grow styles. That's to me is super exciting, So,
Yeah, I like to see what people do. Some people get creative with the training, manifolding and such like that. I think that's always cool to see.
Oh yeah, we might have a manifolder.
I'm guaranteeing we do. There's one in every grow along. I see it.
It'll be like one guy doing like DWC, a couple, there'll be like the autopot guys over here. We'll have like the earthbox guys over here. We'll have the salt growers in this corner. They'll be doing their thing. Everyone just coming together, posting, compare and contrast pics. It'll be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see what people come up with, especially with all the fucking different strains. That that's one thing you mentioned. We shouldn't glaze over that. There's a lot of different gear you can run. That's kind of why it's taken us so long to figure out everything.
Yeah, just get hyped and keep your ears and eyes open. We will inform you about when the start date is, all that good stuff. So clear your tents and start your engines, gentlemen.
Vroom, fucking vroom.
Speaking
And
of
ladies.
which,
And ladies.
and ladies, of course, and ladies. And yeah, speaking of which, I got I've had the lights off, like full on shutdown of the grow area since my last harvest. It's been like 2.5 months. Feels weird, have to admit.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things I'm like prepping, doing just to like get the engines going, as I said. First of which, I kind of do like I've kind of transitioned into more of a no-till style grow, where I'm like, I just rip the damn root balls out of those 9-gallon autopot, XXLs. Let them like dry out for a couple days. Rip that root ball right out, and they're good to go. Can plant right in that shit. So, but in the meantime, it's great to have like a little cover crop action coming up, breaking through those dying and drying out roots that you have left in the pot from the last grow. Worms would be a fucking awesome thing to have. I am not on the worm train yet, but
Every time I picture worms in pots, I think of Joint Custody's first episode on when he talked about when he first started learning about worms. He was like putting them in his pots, and they were like crawling out. He had like worms everywhere.
They were everywhere. Yeah, dude, that was a funny story. Like, worms would be a great addition for that style of grow, just to, again, like break up those old roots, keep the aeration tip top, and cycle the nutrients from like the top dressings on down to the bottom. I'm getting there. Like I really do need to get like my own worm bin, make my own castings, all that good stuff. I was looking in the you ever go to like an old school, like not a 7-Eleven, but it's just a convenience store that's a brand X, and they have those like bait vending machines out front.
Yeah.
And I was looking in them. I was like, can I get those like worms from this thing right here? Just throw them in my pot. But they're not the right worms.
They're red wigglers, aren't they?
No,
Depends
not
on-
bait worms. They're
Well, it
different.
depends on which ones you get. Like, you can go to a bait store and get worms, but you can just dig them up in your fucking yard. I mean, fuck, they're everywhere.
I mean, that's my question, I guess. Can I just dig them up in my yard, or like go to a fucking bait store and get some worms, or like do I need to order the special batch of red wiggler? What is it? Red wriggler?
Wiggler.
Red wigglers. Yeah.
Jeez, red wigglers.
There's the new meme.
The red wrigglers.
Sounds like a Batman villain.
Yeah, the
Oh my
wriggler.
goodness.
See, somebody said Canadian night crawlers. I have no fucking.
All right. So, like, I don't know. Can you just get any old worm, and will they compost just the same, or do you need the special composting worms? I guess I was hesitant to.
I'm
Just
surprised.
throw in
Everybody's
old
suggesting to just buy them. I guess you can just buy like a starter batch, like, right? And then they just fucking make more worms and fucking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strong says different worms do different things and create different temps. It makes
Interesting.
sense.
Yeah.
So you might have to
Yeah,
care
do some
for 'em a
research
little
on
differently.
worms.
If they're a different breed or something, feed them something a little
Badger
different.
says just fucking buy them. I added the fucking in there. Artistic
Yeah, you're
creativity.
right. You're right. And I'll get there. But again, would be a fantastic thing to add to this new like no-till kind of. I gravitate to the easiest method, right?
Cambodian inchworm. That can't
Will
be
they
real.
stay in there? Are you going to end up with a
Cambodian
joint
What is
situation?
it?
How are you going to keep them inside your pots?
Say again, G3. I'm
How are
sorry.
you going to keep the worms inside your pots?
Just fucking tell them to stay. You gotta train them.
Well, yeah. Where else would they go?
I assume worms. I mean, they tried. I don't know. I guess if there's enough food for them, they'd stay. But I could imagine them trying to leave.
This is fucking ungrateful.
I guess
fucks.
like we did have, a tale of that happening, like the worm exodus.
Yeah,
Just beware.
you
I
find
guess there's
worms
gotta
all
be-
over your house.
There's got to be a way to do it. See, people are saying feed them from the top. You can cover them, put one of those like vinyl covers. People, I see a lot of you organic folks doing. They put the shower cap thingy, basically, over the pot.
Word. Well,
Yeah,
we
trap
got
them fucking things in.
a couple people said, no any worms are better than no worms is what syntax says.
Yeah,
And I guess that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I guess they're gonna do something. They might not be like the most efficient composters that you could find, but they're certainly gonna help.
Now, can you mix worms?
Well, that's. I mean, I imagine you
Talk
can,
about going down the
but
wormhole.
will they get along?
Yep.
You can have territorial battles between
Yeah.
worm tribes.
Turf wars.
Absolutely. I mean, they're very territorial.
I forget the scientific phrase for it, but can't
Yeah.
worms like fuck themselves and get pregnant? Can't they like reproduce themselves?
There's got to be a term for that. There's got to
There
be
is.
a term.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yes.
It's like not asexual, but it's like
I don't know. You got to be careful these days when we start talking
non-sexual
about this stuff.
reproduction
Get
or
fucking
something.
canceled.
I know. We're talking about biology here. Yeah, maybe it's non-sexual or asexual reproduction. I don't fucking know.
That's definitely not it.
It's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Pile of olies and find new worms. See, lots of suggestions here.
So, worms would be awesome. We'll get there. If you got worms and you love them, give a thumbs up in the comments. Put a worm emoji in the comments. You animals. But what I did start doing is like, because again, I had all the lights off. It was just a dormant grow tent. So I had like no water, no lights. You kind of got to bring a little life back into the soil. And believe me, they were still like plenty moist down at the bottom, in like the middle and the bottom of the pot, but the top was super dried. Like it was at the point where it was like water repellent. What do they call that again?
Hydrophobic.
Hydrophobic, exactly. So I had to like reinvigorate the soil. Used a whole shitload of Kuyaha, a bunch of like organic nutrients I watered in, and then planted a bunch of cover crop, and that's just coming in now. It looks awesome. Cover crop is one of the coolest things.
What do you like to use for your cover crop?
It's just that like build a soil mix, so it's like mostly clover, I think. But there's legumes, legumes. I forget what else is in there, but yeah,
You get some edible plants.
yeah. I mean, I think if you
Yeah,
if you
that's what I
let
was
them grow,
thinking.
you certainly would.
That's pretty cool.
Or like microgreens or something in there.
Yeah, yeah. But the point of the cover crop is to like chop and drop. You know what I mean? These are like nitrogen fixers. These are like plants that take nitrogen from the atmosphere and make them available in your root zone through plant magic.
Plant magic.
Yeah. So they serve a purpose, and then of course you can like when you chop it, because you don't want it to get too big. Of course, you chop it and like let it fall into the soil. Maybe cover it up a little bit. Put some bokashi on there, and just you're adding back all that nitrogen and all the nutrients that the plant was grown from back into the soil that way too. So it's just like, I don't know, these little tricks of the trade with like organics that like you pick up over time. They're awesome, man. Like they save you so much time. This is the way for me as like a tent pirate, Like I said, I gravitate to the easiest method. I am so lazy. So if, less work, I don't have to mix soil this time. I just it's reuse the same soil. Why the fuck not, right?
I suppose. Do you feel like your soil when you start to grow has less nutrients overall than when you would start it when you were building?
No, I don't because the way that I treated it, honestly, like I had a different mindset through the whole last grow too, where it's more of like you're constantly recharging the battery. You never want to let the battery run dry. So like you're always top dressing, you're always adding back in to it with your cover crop chopping and all that stuff too. So the soil should have plenty of nutrients. I mean, I don't know, it might even have more nutrients in it than it did before the last run with all the top dressing I did. I don't know how much the plant took out, but I certainly added a shit ton back in. So I feel like every time I do this, it gets better. Every time you reuse your soil, it just gets better and better and better. Maybe that's just wishful thinking, because
No,
No,
I
I
don't
think
think
it's
so.
definitely
want my
possible.
easy method.
No,
to
if you're re-amending that stuff, you can. And there are people that say that cocoa works better the second time around too. I just I don't
Dude,
know.
you know what just popped into my head?
What's that?
Like it was that Step by Step theme song. The second time around, step by step, day by day.
Jesus Christ. We're gonna have to get you in a video
Would
singing that
it
with your
be
fucking...
the future? Could you pay the cost? Would there ever be a second time around? Ba-bum-ba-bum-bum.
Oh my Lord.
Brings me back to Friday night on the couch in 1994, man. Family Matters, Step by Step, and Full House. God damn. What a lineup.
TV sucks now, man.
I don't even have TV, man. I just have fucking YouTube and Hulu when I feel like paying for it, when I want to watch something, and I binge and then I cancel.
There you go. Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of television. Sports, that's about it. A few things in between. Normally, like the wife watches her bullshit, and uh, you know, she thinks whatever I watch is bullshit. So I guess it goes hand in hand. But yeah,
We all have our vices, as you know, our guilty pleasures on TV. We all do, for sure.
so I already said I'm picking the Hubba Bubba Grape. Have you guys
That's your
decided
choice.
what you're gonna pick?
Keep flip flopping, man. Keep
Interesting.
flip flopping, because I don't have room for all of them that I want. But I think I have to do the black bourbon.
Okay, that's what's calling to you, huh?
It's calling to me, and then that cherry slimeade.
Oh yeah, she looks really good.
So I wanted to do one from each line, and I think that'll satisfy it.
Okay.
But again, like that's fucking Bud's Ohio, right? Just like reminded me of how great that Gangsta Grape was.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
like
yes.
every time I go to the site and I look through all the strains again, and I'm reminding myself what my choices are, I'm just like, this is too damn hard. So I'll probably just like get all the packs you got, spread them out on the floor, mix them up, do a 360, and then like point your finger or two fingers at two. That's how you decide, right? We're just,
If we spin the bottle.
yeah, basically.
It's not like you're gonna
decide.
fucking, you know, it's not like you're gonna be disappointed.
Exactly.
You know, so, yeah. You know what? It's kind of funny, right? We've talked about this in the past. I'm an anti-authoritarian. I don't like fucking being told what to do. But I'm actually getting kind of excited for this grow along now that I'm like getting involved and we're talking about it. So we'll definitely be doing more of these. I think it is kind of fun. We're gonna see what everybody can do, and we'll have. I think you're gonna see some pretty cool shit because people like to show off during these and do some pretty. I've followed other
They
grow
do.
alongs, you know, and seen what
They
people
do.
do. So
People
should
pull
be
out
fun.
all the stops, man. They're trying to win these prizes, man.
Yeah.
This is
yeah,
a competition, dog.
Yeah.
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 A lot of creativity.
This ain't practice. Talk
Like, sure it can
talk
be.
about
No
practice.
stress, no pressure. It's just going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's more importantly fun. But man, this ain't practice, man.
One of the best lines ever.
And Join's great
This is
because
a
he
game.
knows his plants inside and
game.
out. So he'll come in and see your pictures and be like, "Oh yeah, that internodal spacing is from that line, and that
Dude, he
leaf
knows them
space
like his
this
kids.
line." It's incredible. So
I always try to mess with him too. Like when I grow his stuff, I will go into his DMs and be like, "All right, here's 4 pictures. You tell me which plants are which." He gets them right every time, man. He's never, you know, I don't know what he looks for, but he, you know,
he's got that eye,
yeah,
the artist's
knows his
eye.
kids. Knows his kids. But so what I would love to hear from you guys tonight is a little bit about what we're gonna see from you grow style wise. I want to get like I want to get well acquainted with like the Monster method. Oh shit. Where did he go?
Monster
Oh
said
my God.
no. You
Monster's
don't get
like,
to know.
I'm out.
It's all secrets.
I'm out. That's black
Can't have
magic.
monster secrets.
Here, let me get rid of this real quick. He'll be back. Sorry about that, guys. Just look at that. Look how personal this just got.
So cozy.
Just you and me, G3, and
So
on the pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
What I would love to do is hear about your grow method too, G3, and just like what, you know.
I don't have a grow method. I mean,
tell
I
me
do,
your
but I
black
don't.
magic.
It's
Sure you
chaos.
do.
It's just absolute chaos.
But how do you harness the chaos? That's the question.
I don't. Maybe that's why my plants turn out as unexpected and crazy as they do sometimes. I grow in a very much a what do I have around me style. Like I have a lot of different types of nutrients that I kind of ping pong in between and mix some with others. And I always grow in autopots. That's like a given. I don't have the time to be hand watering.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody. I mean, maybe like one plant, just to like, maybe, but
Nah.
it's like not worth it.
Everybody
It's like,
goes
for
on
what?
the
For who?
I have one plant growing right now, and she is hooked up to a res.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got that one golden
Even one
goat
plant
growing right
and
now,
just
and she's.
sucking.
I am not hand watering that
sucking
shit.
that
She is
water
hooked up to
from
the
a bottle.
autopot. Yep. They can keep her happier than I ever could. So,
Amen.
yep. We're just going to go with that. Now, normally I run organics, and I do prefer organics. I am running this golden goat with salts, though, just because I'd never run salts through a res before, and I wanted to try it out. I don't like it very much, gotta say. I miss the organics.
I drew the alligator red because I wanted to see a red alligator.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm fucking around with salts because I never
Right.
did it,
I
and I
mean-
wanted to see what would happen. Right?
I literally live by the fuck around and find out mentality. I've said it a million times. Fuck around and find out. That's how you learn.
Absolutely.
So I've run salts before. I know about salts, but I'd never run salts through a res and through the autopots. So I wanted to try it. So that's it. I'm going back to organics for the grow along though, because I miss it.
So you've been mixing nutrients in the res with this golden goat this time,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But you wouldn't consider that your normal grow method, would you?
No, not at all. Normally I have nothing in my res except for water, Photo Plus, and Terps Plus. Those are the only things I go in it. So normally I'll mix my own soil. I like to use a mix of Stonington and then something that's not quite as hot. So whether that's, I've been using coco a lot more recently instead of a lighter soil like
Coco
Happy
is
Frog
so
or something like that. I just go straight for the cocoa so then I can still do my gradient of hotness. I like doing it like pretty benign up top, going down to like significantly hotter at the bottom where it's mostly all of the soil. Oh, he's back. Welcome back.
He got.
I hope
lost in
somebody
the ether.
from fucking Spectrum Internet can see this fucking message. I hate you guys. Your fucking internet sucks donkey fucking balls. And if I ever meet somebody that works with Spectrum, I'm gonna fucking slap them in the face. Okay?
That'd be a nice how do you do?
So listen to this fucking shit, right? Like this is the weirdest shit that's been going on the last 2 days.
Go for retard.
My internet just goes down, like completely down, right? And then the only fix is to unplug my fucking modem, plug it back in, and it comes back on. But it's been happening like every fucking 6 hours. It's driving me fucking crazy. So I leave for work at like 4 a.m. yesterday, and I see Spectrum vans all over the place. It was like a fucking union meeting. Every corner they were doing something. And ever since they fucking did all that, like they implanted their fucking bugs or whatever, fucking who the fuck knows what they did. My shit has been ridiculously wonky. And I'm bullshit. Rant over.
I'm not gonna take it anymore.
Fucking pay every month for this bullshit. It's the worst internet on the fucking planet.
Do you have other options, or are you stuck with just that?
No, so I also pay for but I use it somewhere else. You can get like 5G internet, but the problem with that is the latency sucks, and my kid bitches about it for gaming. Yeah, I've tried turning it off and turning it on again. Fucking Matt Frat, thanks, brother.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
always fixes it.
So I got one of those cocksucker technicians coming to my house tomorrow. Listen to this. At 8 p.m. I told him.
Oh, you gonna slap him in the face?
I might.
You should.
At
At 8 p.m., dude. That's late. That's a late service call.
I requested. I said as late as possible because I fucking don't get home till late. So and they were able to accommodate me, so I don't have to fuck up my whole day to wait on a 4-hour window for those fucking pricks
I hope
whenever
he
they
shows
decide to
up.
show up.
So we before you came back, we were talking about cocoa, man. I know you're
you
a
guys are in the
cocoa
wrong
man,
fucking spots,
but
man. This is bugging me out.
oh geez, yeah, there we go. So I think everyone, that means everybody should have a brick of cocoa, like for utility purposes. Like you don't need the like royal gold. You don't need the, the expensive stuff like the bagged 70/30 with perlite stuff. Like no, just get a brick of cocoa from Amazon. It's like $9.99. It's dehydrated. It comes in like a compressed brick. You gotta like
Make sure it's buffered. Please make sure your cocoa is
Yeah,
buffered.
Yeah,
Add
man,
some
I'm gonna be
Cal-Mag.
honest with you.
Don't
You
get
want
unbuffered cocoa.
you don't want to get the worst cocoa in the world. There is some shit that's just like all powder. It's fucking gross.
So when now I got a pretty bad brick of it, right? And I sifted it. It was a bitch. Not gonna lie, it was a bitch. But like was I guess probably worth spending a little more money, get a higher quality brick of cocoa. But
can of
this
cocoa
stuff-
bricks are the standard as far as I'm concerned. If you're gonna buy brick
All right,
cocoa,
word.
yeah, like and they're not that expensive. The can and you get they fucking fluff out a lot, really.
Dude,
Like
you get so much from a brick. You get so
Yeah.
much, and
Yeah.
then like it is the perfect like medium for it's essentially. I use it as like to create like that non-hot layer of autoflower conducive growth on the top of my pots. Right? You mix in some inert cocoa to your hot soil, and that, depending on the ratio, is like it dilutes your soil. Great. I don't even buffer it. Not gonna lie, because like organic, I don't really think it matters. Like if
It
you
does.
It
Like
it
if you're
actually
getting
does.
really unbuffered with you, it's gonna suck all the magnesium out of your
No.
nutrients, and your plant won't get any.
all
Not
right,
not only that, but I think I did a video on this once on IG. I
you still want to buffer?
No, yeah. So, like, if you even the best cocoa in the world, if you take it right and you let's just say you start off with, I'm just gonna give you a number, right, like a 1 EC mix, because I don't really like buffer my cocoa. I think that's kind of bullshit. I just like to flush it with whatever I'm gonna be using for a newt solution, right? And we're just gonna say 1 EC here for easy numbers. If you run that 1 EC mix through it and then test what's coming out of the bottom, that first run, it's way higher. There's a bunch of residuals in there. Even the best cocoa in the world, I always
Okay.
recommend you flush that shit a little bit.
So you want to
before use it.
flush and then buffer. But like,
No,
when you
Most of it comes. A lot of it does come buffered, but there is some cocoa, especially the bricks, that come unbuffered. And when it's unbuffered, it has all of these open receptors that want
they like
magnesium and
trap
I
calcium,
think it's calcium.
magnesium.
Calcium
Yep.
and magnesium are
Yep.
those two. So it'll pull it right out of your soil in order to fulfill itself. It's really easy to buffer it, but you don't have to. Just get buffered cocoa.
So that like that on a microscopic level, that works the same way with like salts as it does, or organics as it does with salts. Because I understand, like, if you have a suspended solution of magnesium and calcium that you're watering in, that like it could trap that somehow. I mean, I guess if you're watering into the soil, you're somehow making a solution with the nutrients that are already in there for them to get in the plant anyway. So whatever. I'm thinking out loud. I guess it would make sense. Okay, I'm going to buffer from now on. But the point remains that cocoa is one of the most useful ingredients to have in your garden for all things. I mean, if you like growing orchids, you would think it'd be like perfect meat. Nah, don't they like bark and stuff too? You can mix like chunks of wood in with the cocoa. It's perfect. I don't know. You can grow anything with the stuff. For autopot users, especially, I want to stress like how important it is to have a light, kind of fluffy soil in your pots.
Absolutely. Yeah, you
Yep,
want
coco
some
does
hairiness in
that.
there.
You know, if you have a very like compost rich mix, a lot of the stuff you're using is the super soil, like it comes a little too heavy.
Yeah, like stodgy. It's
Yup.
super dense.
So
Mix some cocoa in there. Not only that, but cocoa dries super fast, so you get that dryback period faster, which means you can
yeah,
have more cycles, more dryback cycles with higher levels of cocoa.
It'll also provide more
100%.
oxygen in the rhizosphere.
Hmm.
More oxygen and more opportunities for watering, which is, where you have the opportunity to add inputs. So a lot of benefits to cocoa, guys. So G3,
Hmm.
when you're doing organics in autopots, how do you feed?
So I start originally by mixing a whole bunch of stuff into my soil in the first place. So I'll add even more than what's already in there, just like standard, veg nutrients in a lot of cases, recharge, you know, things like that. But then once they're growing, if I start seeing that they're hungry, then I'll top dress. Super
Okay.
easy. I don't even turn off the auto pots
No.
anymore. I probably should, but I don't.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
I don't think it
Especially because
matters with a fully established plant because
Feel
especially
that.
that top layer is going to be dry.
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to hurt anything
Yeah, I like kind of
unless you
work it
go
in with my fingers
crazy
and
because
then
then
water it in.
you'll overflow the pot. But there is a little bit of room there.
No,
Um,
I'll do it like if have just top dressed, I'll go in and I'll give them a little bit of water on top. No, not a little bit, more than a little bit, but not enough to overwater the plants for like a couple of times in a row. So like maybe
Gotcha.
twice in one day and then maybe another time the
And
next day. So you really start getting that stuff
yeah,
incorporated
because
in there.
it's like because basically you haven't top dressed unless you've watered that in. Like
Right.
you
That's
haven't
just
done
sitting on
anything.
top
Yeah.
doesn't do anything. She's
Yes.
not going to
Yes.
come get it. It's just
Yes.
going to stay there.
Yes.
It needs to be watered in.
It
So,
needs to
yes.
be watered in. So like that I guess was kind of my question. Like you're not putting any kind of like again, guys, we don't like to put organic anything really in our autopot reservoirs. There's very little that should or even could go into a reservoir that's going to benefit you in any real way, I think. That's why we do it like this, right? And we kind of like, we're still feeding by hand, though it's like,
We're just not watering
yeah,
by hand.
just not watering it. But you still do have that initial water in, you still must do by hand, but it's
Yeah.
very
But
little.
that's part of
It's
the
very
feeding,
little.
kind of. Yes. Yeah. It's
Very
not
little
that.
water goes in on top, just enough to like, you know,
yeah, Photo
do the
Plus.
job.
That's the one thing. The only thing that goes in my res
Yep.
besides newts. So
Hmm.
Photo
somebody mentioned that there.
Plus. Amen. From
Right.
our buddies Microbe Life Hydro. You can see it right there. Use code CCMLH15. Grab yourself a bottle. Listen, I don't even put like I got all the other microbes. I got fish shit. I got what are some others?
Great white.
Great white. Yeah. They got a liquid
Dynamite.
one that was called
Dynamite. Mammoth.
I don't like anything else in my reservoir.
Yep. Dino is more of an amendment.
Yeah, I
It's
only
a
use
powder
Dynamite
too.
when I'm either transplanting or germinating.
Yeah, I literally just use it for the same purpose, G3. And I fucking love it. I have no code for you or nothing. I've seen it hands on, fucking personal results.
That's what it was.
There
King
is
crab.
if for I think the combination of the two, the Photo Plus and Dynamico, but Dynamico is fantastic for transplanting. I really wholeheartedly believe in that product. Yeah.
And a little goes a long way.
It really does, and I like it too because it's not powdered. It's like granular, It's
Yeah.
vermiculite. That's how they actually make it, right? So all the spores are inside the little vermiculite pellets. It's less dusty and yeah, just grab a pinch, throw it in. Fucking stuff is awesome.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
like
Great
fish
product.
food for your plants.
Yeah, and it's highly concentrated. I'm gonna reach out to Ari and see if we can get a coupon code going here.
Well, we should have him on
Let
the
him come
show. I'd
talk
love
about
to.
it.
I
I'd love
talked about it,
pick his
dude.
brain.
I've stayed in touch with him. It's tough. He's a busy fucking man. But yeah, we'll have
Well,
him on the show at some point.
Hey, the more coupon codes, the merrier. But you got to have some sort of mycorrhizal. That's the point. But like
Mycorrhizal for shizzle.
we're not putting that in our reservoir either. Like that's
No.
not going to help you.
Nope.
We don't do
That's
that.
already in my pot when I start.
Yeah.
It's mixed into the soil.
You can do
Word.
secondary residence.
And then putting it on top again with.
that's something.
Yep,
something we should
that's-
go over a little bit.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
As like something we can look forward to you grow style wise, Monster. That like we're gonna be able to learn from is your second res technique. That's cool.
2 reses. Twice
Yeah,
the fun.
basically,
Two
you
res,
just
one grow.
you just tee off to a 5-gallon bucket, and you can put a little fitting in there and have the same fucking thing come down with the filter, and it all goes through the same lines. You're just teeing off and with a shut off valve, real easy.
Oh, it's the same lines too.
Same lines, everything's the same. It just
Yeah,
you
I could
just
see
shut,
2 lines come down to 1, and you just determine which one turns on.
you just shut off one res and turn on the other. Real easy to do. It's honestly an idiot can do it.
So what do you find is the benefit or benefits of doing that?
I don't want my res to get all gunky and fucked up. And I don't want to mix all that organics into my nutrients. It's gonna fuck everything all up, and everything you're gonna get shit that falls out of
Gotcha.
solution. It's just not good.
So
And I'm
that's
only
what,
feeding in
you're-
such small amounts. It's mostly like when I make compost teas. I do like seed sprout teas and stuff like that, or what's the shit from?
Like recharge?
I don't use Recharge much anymore. Great product though. Nothing against it.
Gotcha. It's like
What's the fish emulsions and stuff like that? The one from
it's a tea in a bag, I would say.
the fucking product. The name is escaping me, and it sucks because they're a local company right out of Gloucester. Neptune's Harvest, the fish hydrolysate.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Fucking great product. I'd really only use that in veg, but and you don't want to definitely don't want to put that in your
Word.
autopot res. And whenever I use anything like that, right, I will, once it's done, I will follow that up with basically just water and Photo Plus to make sure that I don't fucking clog up my shit. And I haven't had any issues yet. I am so glad that I found out that Photo Plus cleans
right?
the res lines, because it does an amazing job of it, and it just simply works.
It does.
So, yeah.
That's cool, man. So you are using the same lines too. But if you, in a moderate kind of fashion, you can put organics through those lines, just not all the time.
Yeah, you want to make sure you
then
filter that though. The
Yeah,
the
follow
larger
it up
systems come with the filter. I don't know. Honestly, I've only bought the 12 pot systems. They come with that big filter. It's like a screen, like a mesh
Yeah.
screen.
The
Yeah,
Pro
so-
filter, I think
yeah.
they call it on the site.
So I would recommend something like that, or you can even buy something at a hardware store. I've done as well. Grow shop should have them, but you want to have some sort of filter. You don't want to just shove that shit through your lines. That's a recipe for fucking failure, I assure you. Yeah.
Oh my god, the taste.
Yeah, we'll reach out to
Amazing.
Microbe Life on that. That coupon code there actually isn't an affiliate code. We don't get anything from it. We're just trying to help out you guys. I'll reach out to Scott and see if we can get that code reactivated.
Word. Well, yeah, I mean, so looking forward to the dual reservoir technique. That'll be cool. What other methods to
That
the
fucking Kush.
Monsters madness do you have, man? Like what? Got any other special sauce, or we're just gonna have to wait and see what you bring to the table when we get there?
I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel, man. Same old shit. Fucking Love it or hate it. Athena Pro line mixed with my organics amendments. Same old shit, just because it works.
Yeah, not adding or tweaking anything
No, see, that's the
new.
thing, though. I'm not really. People, you would assume I'm super scientific with it, and I'm really not. Like, it kind of depends on my mood. Like, especially with my organic amendments, what I decide to add. I do have a compost bin. Always had compost bin. That's where I make my compost teas. Compost teas are fucking great. Highly recommend anybody incorporate that. And even if you don't have compost, you can. I think somebody was telling me they make bags, like basically like tea bags. Especially how you guys like getting tea bagged.
Yeah, I'll
You
show
buy a
you a
couple of
tea
those
bag.
things, and you're good to go. I mean, look,
So
it
even
isn't
for
hard.
you're a salts grower, right? Like you're not an
Yeah,
organics guy, but here you are recommending a nice strong microbe tea.
I've
You
always
know,
recommended this shit, man. Like, you can't just be
well,
basic about it.
listen, man. Some people what do they call it? Follow the program. They trust the
Yeah,
program. Like
yeah.
and there's no microbes in the program. Just saying.
Listen, I trusted the program once.
They use
See how
cleanse.
I wanted to see how it would work, and it wasn't bad. I just thought that it wasn't great, so I went
Now
back to what I was doing.
is that like I have to believe like this is just kind of like a for you know the licensed growers in huge facilities that have to pass lots of testing and stuff like that. They have to have like a sterile medium. They don't want microbes. Is that why that kind of thinking gets into a lot of growers' mindsets? Or like I don't know. I mean, really, because how do you not like microbes? Who doesn't want microbes in their
Well,
grow?
look, people underestimate their power too, especially like fighting things like drought, right? Because there's gonna be times where you fucking forget to water your plant or don't water it enough or overwater, right? Just root maturation, the overall healthiness of the plants. Once you build that network with the mycorrhiza,
Yeah.
it's important, man. People need to understand that, and I think most people do, right? Especially people watching this show. I think most people do.
Well,
Um,
all the tent pirates, man. We're a skeptical bunch.
I will say this though, and I'd like to say things kind of fucking, my way or the highway, but I will say this: Photo Plus, and if you're using any other powder or anything, just get rid of it and use Dynomyco. All you got to do is look at the label, and the label will tell you everything you need to see. It Just the spore count alone on that fucking product
Man,
is ridiculous.
you gotta
I don't
check
see
your
enough people using it.
CFUs, dog.
Yeah, check them
You gotta check
CFUs,
those
man.
CFUs. How many
Yeah.
CFUs you got?
Yeah, yeah. I fucking love that shit. So people need to be using it. Dino Myco, get on that train. Use them both. Cause look, Dino Myco has shit that it can't do, and that's where I think Photo Plus comes in.
Well,
Right? So
I'm kind
I
of
think it's like a
just
1-2
like
fucking knockout punch.
or like I don't know how it works in the reality, but the way it works in my mind is that if I add all the microbes in, they like they compete with one another and like iron sharpens iron kind of thing. They make each other stronger. And only the strong survive. So like a couple like generations down the line, like I got like super microbes. They're like, they've been through war. They've
Yeah.
been through the gauntlet. Now they're on
Next
the
thing
other
you know,
side
they're
and they're like
fucking, asking you to
super
add
strong.
Skittles to the grocery list and shit. Like
PTSD
they're
microbe.
they're getting fucking they're getting they're
Trying
getting
to
advanced.
reintegrate back into society
Yeah.
microbes.
Yeah. AI microbes.
But yeah, no, the more microbes the better. So I don't know, I like to think I'm gonna surprise some people with maybe like a new tweak to my grow method. I always got room to like add some cool new stuff, but like
Yeah.
really there hasn't been much cool new stuff in the way of the grow product market, and I just have to. Sorry, I saw it today. I'm surprised it took me 55 minutes to make fun of the new AI exhaust
Oh, yeah.
fan controller from
I-
AC Infinity, because
knew
you
it.
still haven't figured out how to use your fucking exhaust fan correctly. You
That's why they're
fucking
bringing in the
idiot.
AI. God.
That's why,
All right,
why
all
we
right, so
need
They're
this
like,
product.
fine.
I
Because
saw
you
somebody.
still can't grasp the concept of thresholds. Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny. They're coming out with it. Literally, it's an AI controller. It controls your whole setup with AI. It learns
How?
exactly when you need to turn on and off your fans.
It
have
literally
that-
like tracks data and stuff.
I need to see
Yeah.
how this
They're
fucking
just
works.
calling us all stupid.
No,
Well,
honestly,
look, I'm
we
gonna
are,
be
though.
honest with
We
you.
are.
No,
Come
no,
on.
no. Listen, this is the God's honest truth.
They know
And
growers so well. It's
it-
actually funny.
it's probably a lot of people listening to this show. You're not using your fucking fans correctly. Every grow I come into that has AC Infinity fans, more than 90% of them are just set on a number, and or they're running too cool, which actually costs you more money, right? Because that fan has to come on more to hold that temperature that you're asking it to do. So, yeah. All right. We're going to
That's
go
so
over this real
funny,
quick.
dude.
LED lighting. You want to be running at least 82 degrees. I like to run 84, 85 in veg,
Perfect.
right? And in flower, you can run certainly a lot cooler, but I still don't like to get it below 80 degrees until the end. I will push it down to about 76 at the end, last
and
week
you-
and a half, 2 weeks.
You do that by setting
That's
the
LED lighting.
threshold on the controller.
Yeah,
Like,
you just go to high temp
it's a
and
setting.
you dial it down to
Yeah.
your number, and that's it. And it does it for you, and it's fucking awesome. And you can
put
set
it on auto mode, and then
Yep.
you let it roll. Do its
you
thing.
let it roll.
You
Yep.
don't need a new product that does it for you, because
There-
you
there-
can
there-
figure this out, guys. I have faith in you.
There's
I
got to
really
be
do.
more to it. Somebody linked it earlier in the Discord, and I just
has
looked
to
at
be.
it and I think it was you who linked it, Cap. Actually, I just looked at it real quick and shook my fucking head.
There has to- I make fun because I glanced at it, and that was
Yeah.
my first thought, was like, oh my god, because
How much is it? Did they even announce a price?
Out how to do it. I don't know anything more about it. It was literally just announced today. But
So listen-
I have to say, though, if you are going to buy a new AI assistant for your grow, use code Cultivation.
Thank you, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not CC10. And listen, guys, I know there's other codes out there. There's lots of other codes.
Look, you may have a very consistent ambient temperature environment. Most people don't, though. There's just no way you can set it on a number. And
Yeah,
have it.
you're a lucky man if that's your situation. You know?
And plus, there's just no need. You paid for the damn fucking thing that has a probe. It's not just there to tell you the temperature. Let it automate your grow. Because I can promise you this much:
No.
you'll be better off for it. Even if you're a master grower, which I know Badger, dude. Like, I don't like that term, but I mean, he knows his shit. He's been growing a long fucking time. And the man has some amazing hash. I got to get back out to Michigan and smoke some fucking hash with Badger.
Hell yeah. Well, it's not that what he says is wrong. Like, if you can set it at a number all year, and like it should maintain that all year. The trick, though, like in my situation, is that like I'm in an attic. Of course, it gets very hot in the summer, cold in the winter. It's about keeping the lung room a consistent temperature. Really, is the trick. But if you figure out the threshold and like the settings on your fan, you are money. You are money. It just takes a little bit of thinking.
Plus, I like to have a backup in there. Like, I also will use the high humidity setting, and I'll set it to like a ridiculous number, like 85%, just in case something goes wrong, like whatever dehumidification fucks up, especially at night. You can walk into a rainforest. I've literally seen it happen, especially when I had that issue with the old AC Infinity 8-inch fans, the old school ones.
I remember you had some serious ass issues with your 8-inch fans. But yeah, just I'm looking forward to picking up on other people's black magic. One of the one of the little like tricks I'm toying around with the idea, guys. I've been seeing it a lot. It intrigues me. Under canopy lighting.
Yeah, it intrigues me as well. I've heard from a few people that the juice is worth the squeeze.
I have too. I mean, I've seen data of that, like
From who?
I mean, I think it was a lighting company, of course, trying to sell.
Yeah.
So, but
That's what I mean.
so
Like
take it with a grain of salt.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like there is there is an argument to be made for them. But I don't know,
What's the argument against them other than I don't feel like doing it?
The cost to run them and the cost to buy the fixture.
like, yeah, will
is
I
it
benefit?
worth
It's not like a giant
yeah,
light,
no,
and I
it would
don't
be
think you have to
fun.
run wattage similar to what you're running up top.
No, no,
I mean,
no,
just
no,
like
not even
2
close.
bars.
tiny amounts.
But
Anything I think would help.
you would have to really quantify. I want to see real data with like you would have to have the same environment, like two different tents, really, but with the same environment, same lighting, same cut, same everything. One with under canopy lighting, one without. And then how many watts is this under canopy lighting using? Like I don't doubt for a second that you get better plants with them, like meaning like better yield, right?
I
Like
would just
better.
say it's like less popcorn, man. That's all I want them for.
Yeah, that's fucking fine and dandy, but is the juice worth the squeeze? Literally, like, is the electricity that you're paying for to run those fucking things paying for itself, or are you just getting better plants? Right, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, or is it just like sucking electricity, not really doing that much?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd be willing to bet that they are worth the squeeze, right? Because they are catching on pretty rapidly. I know a lot of people that I respect that grow have given me good testimonials on them. So I think it's something to consider. I can't recommend or say not to do it because I don't have any experience using them. But I think it's a cool idea. Anybody have a ballpark on like what some of these fixtures cost? Because I
Not
honestly haven't even
much.
looked into it at all. Like
Yeah,
at
like,
all.
I think
like,
AC Infinity has the mini bars. They're like this big,
Yeah, so
and they're magnetic on the back. and
I've seen
attached to
those
your
lights
tent
at the
poles.
grocery store. They seem pretty cool. Those are designed as under canopy lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some
Supplemental lighting is what they call it.
that have like stands. They have like a what you would imagine like a TV stand kind of situation where like it has legs and you can
I don't like the idea of that.
put the stand at the bottom of your tent and just point the light up. It shines up. It sits there the whole time. I mean, people have 2 lights in like the rows of their tent. Usually each fixture is like it's 1 bar and it's like 80 watts or something like that.
80 watts.
Per
That's
bar.
a significant amount of power.
Is it though? I mean, if
More
you're
than
pu-
you
if you're
think.
if you have like a 700-watt light, is 1 or 2 of those really like I don't know. I mean, listen, I know you're adding to the cumulative total of your electric bill, which we know is like more than it should be. When you get those charts comparing your usage to your neighbors, it's just like, oh boy.
Okay. So let's just say you're running those 12 hours a day. I have a little calculator here. Okay. Not ridiculous. It would cost $7 a month at 12 cents a kilowatt, which is the national average. Now let's reverse those numbers because that's what Monster pays. I paid 19 cents a kilowatt. We're going to calculate that.
$7 a month. Oh geez.
Yeah. It would cost me $11 a month. That's 160 watts. Let's say you added 2 of them, right? So it's 160 watts at 19 cents a kilowatt. And this is ballpark, obviously, because some bills add in like fuck you charges and all these things, right? Like, so it would cost, if you're running it 12 hours, this is just 12 hours a day, right? I've only calculated the flower cycle. Let's go to the veg, okay? $16 a month. That's my rate at 19 cents a kilowatt. I don't know what the national average for electricity is, but 12 seems to be. Yeah. So it
it's
would
more than a Netflix subscription. What the hell?
so it would cost $10 a month at 12 cents a kilowatt to run 160 watts at 18 hours a day. That's what I was trying to tell you. People don't understand how much each little device uses and how much it can actually
Lord.
cost you to run. Yeah. If you have cheap electricity, fucking amen. I'm personally going 100% solar real soon, so electricity won't be a fucking burden to me.
You just run all the under canopy lighting you want then.
Mm-hmm.
Light for everybody.
Yep.
Another, and it's like the new stuff, the new additions to the grow arsenal here, like getting like fewer and farther between, kind of like we're seeing less and less little, like, I don't know, how many more like tweaks can we do to LED lighting, or have we reached the pinnacle?
I think I was talking about this last year. I think we've reached the
That
pinnacle.
kind of thing. Yeah, we
in
have.
some ways.
must
I
have.
think that there was a big advancement with bar fixtures. I'm actually looking to upgrade myself because I just have all quantum boards. I don't own any bar fixtures. Quantum boards. Yeah, so I I think that's the way to go. If you're looking to buy a new light, look, the boards will get them done, and you can still get some of those styles of
You get 'em
fixtures
cheap.
pretty cheap.
Now the bars are better, but again, bars are better for even spread.
Absolutely,
And,
and you
like,
can get the plant much closer to because it's to the
Yes.
light.
It's less heat.
But way better light distribution, in my opinion, with the bar style fixtures.
What I had found though is that the quantum boards penetrated way better into the
They
canopy.
penetrate better.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
Much-
sense because they're condensed.
Yeah, they're all overlapping all over each other.
So
you
I
get
got
better
like that's
penetration.
why
It's all about the
you know,
penetration. I just had to say
It is.
penetration again.
Well, since switching to the board style LED light or the bar style LED lighting, like I've been getting more popcorn nugs than I'm
That's
accustomed
interesting.
to from the quantum boards.
Well,
So like that's why I think
are you
like,
running
some
the
of this
same amount of
supplemental
wattage?
lighting would be good. Slightly less. So for sure, like
I bet
but-
if you bump it up a little bit, you might notice a bit of a difference. But I think I can. I mean, just logically, that makes sense. You're spreading out the light, so of course you're not going to get as much
yeah, dude.
penetration.
If you just look
I had to say it
at-
again.
Look, we're talking
a fucking
about
child.
penetration. I mean, we have to. But if you just look at the way the LEDs are configured in the lights, I mean, it's like, yeah, you have like the boards are just this big block of LEDs. It's like a super powerful, you can't like hardly look at that. The bar style is just like there's like two or three strips of LEDs running down the whole bar. There's maybe just as many, if not more, chips across their whole tent, but like there's never there's not like a hot spot. Those hot spots are what create the penetration.
Well, what they're doing is they're actually adding more chips in a lot of cases because they're able to put a little bit less power into each chip. You get better lifespan that way and less heat. So
Here we go. So a double penetration is when you have lights above and below the canopy.
I can't
So
believe it took
that's-
somebody this long to come up with it. I'm
yeah, how
ashamed
did
that I
we
haven't.
How did we
miss that one?
That low hanging fruit like that. But
Yeah,
there you
good
go,
job, Diz.
Dizwire. Shout
And-
out, man. You might have just
you know
got the
what?
show titled right
You
there.
know what, dude?
Double
actually,
light
I'm glad
penetration.
he's here. Shout out to Dizwire. He helped out with the merch store that I was having a little bit of
Oh,
issues
yeah?
with. Yeah, Dizwire helped out. I sent him some beans for his assistance, but either way, I fucking super appreciate it. He's helped out. He says he's got some ideas too for some shit, so we should see something coming up soon. Anyway,
cool.
shout out to Diz.
Yeah, shout out,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you very much. Like, anyone's assistance with all this stuff, man. Technology befuddles us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nice to get some help. And this is the shit we were talking about, right? Like, listen, Patreons, we love all you guys and thank you for your support. But as one of my fucking favorite podcasters, Rasta Jeff, says, money's expensive. So I understand that if you can't support Patreon, there's other ways to help out the show. Share our podcasts, like, subscribe. Close to 30% of you don't actually subscribe to our channel, which is kind of weird.
Oh, what, on
And
YouTube?
and if you're watching, give us a thumbs up. It helps. Just gets more people listening to the show, which helps the algorithm, which is stupid, but it is what it is.
Amen.
And
the more eyeballs we get, like, in theory, the more people we can help. The bigger the tent. I don't know, all those things.
yeah, and I did have a call out last show about this, so I seen the numbers jump up. I appreciate everybody that did jump in and help out. And if you're listening to this in the audio version, which, listen, that's where most of our listeners come from, is the audio version. We get it. It's a podcast. That's why we waited so long to do video, because I was like, what's the point? This is a fucking podcast. But it just turns out that people like the video too. So just go over to YouTube.
Different,
Give us a little
consumption methods.
give us a little subscription. Maybe tap a couple thumbs up on the videos. It just helps. And we appreciate all you guys. Thanks for listening and watching.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate everybody.
So much.
And if you can help with the chores around here, we'll appreciate you even more.
Yeah, if you can do the dishes once in a while.
There's
Shit.
a lot of chores.
Yeah.
Just clean up every once in a while. But did we have a terp school
Yes, we do.
episode?
Oh,
that we
yeah.
could do?
Which one do we got this week?
We're going to do Linalool.
Okay.
Linalool is
hell yeah.
amazing. It's one of my favorites. I love Linalool.
Thank
So
God.
if you know what lavender smells like, you know what Linalool smells like. It's the most predominant terpene in lavender. So it's that very like lavender, and it has a slightly citrusiness to it, but mostly lavender. So before we said that myrcene was very like relaxing, kind of sleepy time. Linalool's in the same kind of family, but instead of it being relaxing, it's calming. So it just like chills you out. It doesn't necessarily put you to sleep, which is really good to kind of mix it in the middle of the day with good strains. So you can find this in like GDP, Skywalker. A lot of the gelatos have this. Anything that has lilac in it is often has a lot of linalool to it. Do-si do has a lot of it, and kosher kush, because God, it has like every single terpene in it, I swear.
Very like floral kind of scent.
Yes, extremely floral. Very. So it is biphasic. So in the lower levels, it will keep you calm, kind of more even keeled, keep that anxiety kind of on lock. But in higher levels, it will make you sleepy. So if you keep smoking it, it'll still put you out. You just got to be careful with it.
I'm thinking about that, like that sleepy time tea that they sell. Like, doesn't that have
It probably does have essence
Doesn't
of
it have
lavender in
lavender
it.
in it? Yeah.
Yep. It like calms you down. You use lavender, a lot of lavender essential oils to help put kids to bed. They have a lot of like bubble baths with lavender in them, and it's very calming, soothing. They actually did a study where mice who are exposed to linalool will stay in like scary situations longer than without it, and they will keep working on a seemingly impossible problem longer than when not exposed to linalool. So your drive stays up, you chill out, you kind of focus a little bit more, and you can like do your thing.
Yeah, but you're more
But you're like just
accepting
chilled
about it.
out.
You're just like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yep. It does a lot of really cool, like lots of different things around the body. So it is potentially an anti-epileptic, stops epilepsy. It can help control the involuntary muscle contractions because it blocks some of the glutamate receptors. It also like lessens the single strength of acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter. We've talked about acetylcholine before briefly with pinene. And acetylcholine transmits messages throughout your body. So this kind of like reduces the signaling strength of that, makes pain much less like extreme. It like calms down that signaling response. So it calms down everything, anti-inflammatory, anti-pain, all of that, because all of your messengers are just kind of like a little punch drunk and like not functioning properly. One of the coolest things that they've studied about this is with mice specifically and Alzheimer's. And this is the interesting thing that is kind of they're starting to focus on in human medicine as well, is whether linalool can help people with Alzheimer's. So two of the things they've seen that are diagnosable in Alzheimer's patients are brain plaques and cellular tangles. And these are physical changes to the brain that can be observed. So mice who were exposed to linalool not only had a reduction in these plaques and the tangles, but also their cognitive behaviors that had kind of gone wonky as the Alzheimer's progressed started to reverse completely, and some of their behaviors went back to normal. So they're saying that there's a possibility for linalool to be really helpful in people with Alzheimer's as well. So that would be pretty awesome.
It's very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Also can potentially be an SSRI, so a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It acts kind of like in an anti-anxiety type way by disrupting the serotonin pathway.
Interesting.
Yeah, so lots of cool little interesting things it does all over the body. Lots of stuff,
like,
very multifaceted.
It's the chill terp. It's
Yes.
like the this is fine terp. It's like
Yes.
I'm fine. This is fine. Everything's all right.
Which strain
that
did you say it was predominantly in?
So GDP has a lot of it. Anything that's like lavender, Skywalker is a big one that has a lot of linalool in it. Gelato, anything called lilac, and there is some connection between purple plants and linalool. If a plant has a high amount of linalool in it, often it will have purplish coloring, but not every time it has purple coloring does it have a high amount of linalool, if that makes sense. So you can't use the purple necessarily to be like, oh, that has to have linalool in it. But if it has linalool in it, chances are the plant is purple. A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a square.
Yeah.
So
We got AK. There's a name I haven't seen in a while. What up, brother?
Thanks.
AK.
Hey, AK, what up? Yeah, dude. These are the best segments. G3, you are like the best terp scholar.
Thanks. I'm actually going to type all of these up if you learn better through reading, or if you missed something in the previous shows.
If you type all that shit up.
I'm going to type all of this information up about all of them, have it easy to read, and then if you have any questions, please message me on Discord. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me, or leave it on my Ask G3 channel, though it takes me a little longer to get back to those.
If you take the time to type all that shit up, I will add that to the website in a jiff. And
Brilliant.
We'll have a terp library.
Yes. Yeah, this is like my jam. I love terpenes. I think they're fascinating. They do so many things, so many amazing magical things in our bodies. And used the right way can really fix or help at minimum so many things. So yay.
Thank you, Juju.
Yeah, really.
My pleasure.
Istig says it's the I got this terp.
Yes, exactly. It's like
maybe like a
very zen.
A very like let the job do itself. You know what I mean?
Keep trying. Don't freak out.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yep.
So I got my black lung number 2. I think. I mean, I just have an educated nose at this point. I would wager like $1,000 that there's a lot of linalool in this one. I can smell the lavender, very, very floral essence, like grandma's potpourri. You know what I mean? It's like it's all in that ballpark. So I know it's got linalool in there, and now I'm going to I have a sesh with that probably maybe right after this show, but probably on a fresh palate. You know, I gotta after a nice sleep, I'll go into it like first smoke of the day, and then I'll have this knowledge of Linalool.
Yeah, have a nice
Be
calm
awesome
morning.
for
Just
sure. But
ease right into things.
that's right. It won't zap my motivation. Maybe that's my daytime smoke out of this batch. Haven't tried.
Yeah.
But I want to give you some of that one too. Importantly, I gotta give you a whole bunch.
I know. I have
So-
stuff for you too. It's impossible to meet up. We don't even live that far from each other, and
know.
still it takes Caps and I
It's
forever
life.
to meet up with each other.
Life be like that.
Yep.
Life is a bitch.
But
Oh, we had
Oh,
a question before we leave. We had some autopot questions earlier
let's
that I
do
saw
it.
and I wanted to bring them up.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if switching from
I did want to hit this question up. These particular hats aren't available on the site. The if you click one of those links, it'll lead you down to where a path where you can buy a hat with the logo on it, but it's not the same. These were made from a previous vendor who's not with us.
Not with us. He didn't
not,
die.
Not producing,
He
not
just
producing
stopped
merch
doing that.
anymore. I actually reached out to him the other day just to say what up. He is doing well, just not in a state to be able to do print on demand anymore.
Gotcha.
So, but I'm looking into other solutions on that. So to get some nice fitted hats again. So
Hell yeah. Soon. Coming soon.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the autopot questions? I'll be
Oh, it's
scrolling.
here.
We have them.
Rob Shot
If you click on it, you can post it.
said, let me see if I can find it. Here's one. New grower here. On my second harvest, can you guys briefly speak on the autopot watering system? I see they're a sponsor. Does it only work with coco or can you use it with soil?
I can use it with any medium you want.
Yeah, you can use it with soil. I use it with soil. Cap uses it with soil. Absolutely. It is good to have light soil. So we recommend mixing in perlite or
Coco.
cocoa or things like that to make it easier to dry back.
Yep.
For sure.
What Cap used rice hulls, right?
Yeah, rice hulls, perlite,
Perlite.
cocoa, like any kind of light, airy, fluffy, inert, just to round out those super soils you get. They're very compost heavy, you know. If you're going to be a soil grower in autopots, you definitely want to add some aeration, however you can do that. So, yes, they work with any medium, but you have to have like a fluffy medium, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you want some aeration. I think no matter how you're growing, honestly, you're gonna benefit from that. Right? Like you want your medium to be airy. You don't want it to be too dense, no matter how you're growing. Cannabis, anyway.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, were there any others?
I think there was one more. Here's the other one. 7-gallon grow bucket guy here. Why should I switch to autopots? I don't know. Do you feel like you need to switch? If grow buckets are working for you, then like
I'm not
Yeah.
here to.
Grow buckets work great. I mean, it's a good system. I like autopots just because it's a little simpler. It's gravity fed. There's no electricity, no pumps, no timers.
Yeah. What's a grow bucket? I'm not sure.
See if I can pull it up.
isn't that
here.
what we saw last week?
Was it with like
Was that?
has like the compartment at the bottom of the bucket? And
Yeah.
It's like a little reservoir in each container.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think amount of water is definitely
Yeah,
a
I
big
would-
thing in an
yes.
autopot's favor. Like your res can, I can leave for a week and my
Mm-hmm.
girls will be watered no problem.
I think this is a great solution. There's the grow buckets are pretty cool. My biggest issue with it is actually, believe it or not, I think it holds too much water. It's the beauty of the autopot system. I think that's underappreciated is the fact that it floods the bottom of the tray with a decent amount of water, the plant drinks that up, then the tray goes bone dry and it refills again. So you're getting constant wet dry cycles. But look, I mean, if you do the math on the system, one grow bucket here is $55. I think you can do much better than that at Autopot and have a better system for a little bit
Yeah,
less money.
sustainable system, if that makes sense too.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, not sure if I guess you could do like no till with these. I don't see why not.
No, I think this is a pretty cool system though. I like
Yeah,
it. I like to see more self-watering type of systems, but
it's
like,
kind of what I view it as, kind of like an autopot light kind of setup. I mean, you got all the same concepts of bottom watering, you know, reservoir right there in a different form. But like G3 said, I mean, I can leave for a week. I got a 25-gallon res, and yeah, I feel like that. What Monster said too, the constant wet dry cycles, whereas this one
yeah,
is
I
wet
I they'll both get you to the finish
constantly.
line. You know,
Yeah, dude, they're very similar. Don't get me wrong. Like I like autopots because they're kind of expandable as you need them. You know, you don't need to buy like a $55 contraption for each pot. You can do trays. You can do like all sorts of methods with autopots. I mean, come into our Discord, check out the ways that some of these guys are going to grow plants. Even in the grow along, some of the coolest methods are with the tray to grow
yeah.
method. You know,
I like the
that's
idea
super
of
cool.
speaking of the tray to grow, I like the idea of kiddie pool, right? Everybody's looking for cheap grow trays. Why couldn't you use one of those kiddie pools as a grow tray? I think that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
why couldn't you?
Yeah,
You
I think I'm
definitely
gonna.
could.
I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
is it gonna have like
Not for the grow
rubber
along or for
duckies
something.
on them?
It's yeah, yeah, maybe. Actually,
All
thanks
right.
for the idea, Cap. I like the idea. You might not be able to see them towards the end because plan on having that shit full. But yeah, I'd love to see a kiddie pool full of plants. I've seen it before. I can't be the only person that's thought of this. Um, yeah, why not? I mean, one aqua valve can control that whole fucking pool,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And yeah, shit, man.
that's
And
awesome.
you could put a lot of fucking plants in there.
Indeed. Um, so I hope that answers your question. I mean, send it like if you're into automated watering, like it sounds like you could do a lot worse than those grow buckets, certainly. But
I
yeah,
like it.
autopots are kind of like the Cadillac of the automated watering systems. You know, you
Yeah.
got
A little bit more versatile, a little bit more features, but it's basically the same concept. I
yeah,
like to see more stuff like that. That's cool.
for
Um,
sure.
and it's not some cheap Autopot knockoff. It's its own
Yeah,
re-engineered
it's
system,
its own
which
thing for sure.
I can respect. I like that. But if
Um,
you gave me one choice or the other, I would definitely choose Autopots. But listen, if you're growing with those and you're fucking doing fine, would never tell you to just switch it just to switch it,
here's
right?
here's
Right.
here's like probably what I would say is the best reason why I don't like those. Okay, here's my reason. I don't know if I can bring it up. It'll make more sense if I can show you guys the picture. But like, all right, so never mind. You don't need it. I can describe it. It has a reservoir that's in the pot itself. Therefore, you're taking up precious volume of your pot. That's going to have to store water now, not soil. So you're turning your 7-gallon pot now into maybe a 5-gallon pot, right?
And as above, so below.
There you go. So you're shrinking the size of your plant. You're like, I mean, good luck running no-till in a 5-gallon. That's small container organics. Now we're, entering like gonna have to constantly be top dressing and feeding in new types of stuff. There you go, Monster. That's what I was looking for. So yeah, that's my best reasoning for you as to why I like this. This is still cool, but like I'd rather have pot space for soil. Know what I mean?
Hmm.
We all see.
Besides all of the auto pot buckets, what do they go up to?
Oh, the big ones now are 13 gallons.
13s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which probably a little too big for. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's just you'd have to do less inputs because it's all there in the first place. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
you gotta keep refilling it. That's the biggest drawback for me. I want to be able to leave for at least a couple of days before I have to fucking check on my plants. This in flower, I mean, plants even in a 5 gallon pot are gonna drink a gallon a day easily.
Yeah. So, not a big enough reservoir and taking up precious real estate of pot space.
I would compare
Those are
this
my
to
two
like a
biggest issues.
mini earth
It's like a
box in a lot of
mini earth
ways.
box. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
Pretty cool though.
for
I
sure.
think it's nice to see shit like this. But yeah, um, autopots would probably be a better solution. Especially
That's
the
right.
price, right? These things are
Autopot
$55 a
rules.
piece. They're 55. We're not talking $25 here, right? These are $55 per site.
Yeah,
That can
so
add
if
up
you
pretty
set
quickly.
up a 5x5 or 4x8 with maybe 12 of these 12 of these puppies to fill out a tent, that's
12 of
pricey.
them.
Pricey. It'll be 600.
660, and I think an autopot system is around the same price, if not more. But you're getting a little bit more
I'd
versatility.
say a little, you could use our code CC10.
That's
Knock
true.
off 60
Mm-hmm.
bucks.
Yeah.
Get a little more. It's expandable. Then you could get like customer service from Luke. He's a cool dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. I like grow how you want to grow, but
Yeah.
I think you're already like halfway there. So just go the full 9.
Yeah.
Get the Cadillac.
If you're already killing it, man, you know. I was trying to look here. Oh, they sent me some of this silica. I want to talk real quick about that. Have you guys tried it yet? I haven't cracked the bottle. I'm about to.
Their growers, their new silica. No, I got it though, but I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. All right. Gotta stop sharing.
40% monosilicic. Whoa, how do you say? Monosilicic acid.
Salicylic?
Salicylic.
Is it?
Salispecific.
Monosilicic.
Monosilicic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's very strong stuff. I mean, that little bottle should last like forever, essentially.
So I'm glad that they sent this to me because I haven't bit the bullet yet on the monosilicic train. I understand the science behind it, so it makes sense to me. Because I already use silica, I get it pretty cheap. I just buy the powdered shit from Kelpful-S. But anyway, yeah. Let's I don't have the
Yeah,
time
we'll
or the
see.
resources, but I'd love to see somebody do a side by side with some,
Looking to try
not
it out.
necessarily this one, but some monosilicic. Let's see what they can do.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The other, I guess there are some cool new things coming out. The other like thing I wanted to mention that I've seen people toying with, I don't know, just it's curious is all I can say. Is there's like soil moisture meters that people are putting in their autopot pots, essentially like adding like a second layer of water cutting off, okay, as to like bypass the aqua valve, and we can like using data from the soil moisture meter, we're going to read the moisture level of the soil, And if it's too moist, we'll shut off that valve. Without it even, if it weren't doing that itself, it would dry out.
Too much of a value in autopots
Initiate
other than
drybacks and kind of like, I don't know, it's that like crop steering kind of thing with autopots. I don't know if that's even worth it though.
look. The term crop steering, I don't like it. I guess it's broad and people have an understanding of it. So let's just whatever crop steering. I've talked about drybacks before, controlled drybacks. I think that it's a good thing, but it's not. If you're gonna do something like that, I guess that using a moisture meter would be the best way to do it without fucking shit up. One thing that people always fuck up with long drybacks, though, you don't want to reintroduce, especially with salts, you don't want to reintroduce the same strength feed that you were before the drybacks. You need a very light feed. That's where a lot of times my secondary res comes in handy. I don't have to fuck with my other bucket, right? Just put a light feed in the 5-gallon bucket, turn on, and let it roll. Because you're going to have a higher EC in the rhizosphere in the root zone from that dryback, especially in cocoa.
That it does spike the EC for sure. Like, you're playing with fire a little bit if you're doing drybacks and bypassing the aqua valve. I mean, you have to know what you're doing, but I don't know. It's just interesting. I'm seeing
it is
people doing
intriguing,
that.
Cap. I've thought about it. I just don't want to see people go out and spend all their money on this because you can grow really great herb without all these fucking fancy
just
gadgets.
Like, I don't know. It's just like let the damn autopots like do what they do. Like the plant is drinking. It's kind of just like dictating how much it wants. So it's just, I don't know. Yeah, you can outthink the plant, and it can like you can crop steer, but like I don't know, does the average tent pirate really need all that?
I think in systems other than autopots, it can be useful. But in an autopot system, it seems superfluous.
That's the best word I've heard for it.
I think it's great for somebody like a new grower that is hand watering and they're not sure. Like, I get asked the number one question is how much do I water, when do I water, and I just can't answer that question for you because there's like 100 different variables.
Yeah, listen to our last episode, right?
Yeah, so that might be useful for somebody like that.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up for this week, guys. Let's put a nice bow on it.
10:42. Jeez.
I know it's an hour and
It's
40.
like old school. We
almost.
used to do this.
Yeah.
I know,
Just
we
ramble on and
gotta
on.
have to just cut it back to an hour, maybe an hour 15. But still, guys, thank you for listening live. Thank you to our Patreons.
Thank you to the chat.
Yeah, thank you to the
Thank you,
chat. Come
everybody.
and join our Discord, please. Links on the website, links in the chat. That's where we're doing most of our communicating these days. I'm still on IG. You can message me there too.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna have the grow along's gonna happen there. So yeah, that's where you're gonna want to be, guys. Think of it as an AOL chat room. It's fine.
It's
fine.
not scary. We'll hold your hand. It's okay.
Smoke some Linalool if you're afraid, and just do it.
Yeah, jump in Discord. it's fucking easy. Honestly, it's not that hard.
No, it's not. Yeah, thank you guys, most importantly, for
Thank you, Cap.
giving me an hour
pleasure.
and a half
Thank
of
you
your
both.
precious time
Yes.
every week.
Always.
Well, until next week, y'all, you know the rules. Don't get caught.